Hello, I'm Darlene. Thank you for joining me today. This is an interesting topic we'll be discussing, or I'll be discussing. I really have been debating about making this video because I don't know how it will be received, but that's not a big deal. I just don't know if I can put into words really what I want to share with you today, because when you're dealing with subtle energies, which is what being a medium is, it's what being a psychic is, that's what being an energy healer or reader does, that's what channeling is. These are very, very subtle energies that the person meeting me, the medium, the seer, the reader, has to tune into within themselves. This is not something that we're seeing outside of us. This is something inside of us. It's a process that we go through. And so it's hard to put those things into words. And I struggle with that even sometimes in these readings that I do for you. I'm feeling things, and most of the time I see things. It's just not always easy to translate that into words. But when I get emails from people that they want to book a session, a private session, and then I follow that up with an email back to them, and I describe what I do, and I talk about, because I'd rather be upfront with people, and I explain to them, well, I cannot promise you that the very person you're wanting to hear is going to come through in our session today. And so I think that puts a lot of people off, and that's okay, that's fine. But it brings this question up that people, I think, don't understand, and so I wanted to give you my take on this. Now, I don't know about other mediums. I don't really personally know other mediums, maybe one, but or two. But it's not like we talk about this kind of thing. They don't even live in my state, so I just want to give you my perspective. So agree or don't agree, ask other people. If you know other mediums or channelers or any of that, ask them. I'd be interested, very interested in knowing what they have to say about this. So on the topic of mediumship versus channeling, this is my take on it. When I go in to do a reading for somebody, or even these readings that I do here on YouTube, I do a meditation beforehand, and then I have a, excuse me, about to cough, a little ritual that I do in terms of, I protect myself, and I do these other things, and I meditate, and maybe light some incense, and do all this stuff, and that usually takes me about 30 minutes. And during my meditation, I request that my spirit team bring through whoever they'd like me to read for today. This is when I do the YouTube videos. Excuse me. And then I wait, and then I start getting images and messages, and once that I figure out who and what that's about, then I will end my meditation and come out here and do a video for you. Now that process is, I'm not, and I will tell people this when I send them the reply, they're wanting a session, and I said, well, okay, but here's what you need to know. I'm not in charge of who shows up. It's just not how I do it. Now we're talking about mediumship. So my idea of mediumship is the spirit world, your deceased loved ones, our guides and angels are orchestrating who comes to us, who's going to come to me, who wants to talk through me or to me. And that is the process of mediumship for me. Now, and I won't get in, well, maybe I will get into channeling. I don't know, that's a whole other thing, but well, let's stick with this. It could be a long video, right? So then let's talk about if you wanted to bring through a specific person. Yes, I can do that too, but it's a different, again, we're talking about very subtle energies here, but to me, the biggest difference is I'm not just opening the door and saying, okay, Spirit, brings whoever you want me to read in. That's, I'm receiving. To ask for a particular person is I'm going out there and looking for someone. My energy is extending out there to connect with someone's energy field, deceased or alive for that matter. So that person, that being that's on the other side might not want to talk. They might not want to be disturbed from wherever they are. You know, if they wanted to talk, it seems like they would come this way, not this way. So there's a respect issue, number one. Just like, and I don't know if you've heard this phrase or not, but I say it once in a while here in my videos. Not every medium is psychic, but not every psychic is a medium. So let's talk about that. If you are a medium and someone's connecting with you, I feel more of an obligation to try to share this with you. But if you come to me and say, I want to connect with Susie or Joni or Jeff or whomever, it's like, I know a good analogy. I'm in the South, and we're very sociable down here, and we're known for being friendly. And people will say, this is for most people here, people will say, well, just come on by anytime. Well, they mean that, but not unless you call first or text first. So, because you never know. We're all busy people, what would be going on. So I would never do that. It's a matter of respect. I would say, hey, you mentioned the other day dropping by. Is now a good time? That's what I would do. I would always extend the courtesy and let them make that decision. It's not that different. So that person could be very busy. They could have something going on. They're in the middle of something over there. So when you're channeling, it's like, hey, you know, what are you doing? You want to come down here and talk to us? Yes. I mean, it could be that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is there's an ethical, for me as a medium, an ethical principle at play sometimes when it comes to, like, if you're a psychic or a medium and you can read people, does that mean you should? Isn't that like going into somebody's house and opening the door and looking around, whether they're home or not? I don't think so. That's not how my teacher taught me. My teacher thought there needs to be a certain level of permission. So, when you're asking for someone specific, and I can do that, as I said, but there has to be a little bit different approach for me as a medium. And to separate that in my mind, I would say this is mediumship and this is channeling. That's kind of how I look at it, whether that's technically true or not. There are subtle differences for sure, but it's like I'm reaching out and pulling that person down here to the 3D. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. That's how I try to frame it in my own mind to keep things sort of separate from me. So, for example, if someone came to me and that in this session, the person that they wanted to hear from didn't necessarily step forward, and they said to me, well, can you contact that person? I would probably sit and I would say in the session, and I would say their name and ask permission and say, we would like to connect with you. Then I would wait and see what happened. I would wait to hear either from my guides or actually an incoming message. But if I really knew, and sometimes I check in before a session and say, who are you going to bring in today, or who's coming, and that kind of thing. But channeling it to me is a very unique process of its own, and I won't go into a whole long thing, but it is sharing your body with people. That's one kind of channeling. There are a lot of different kinds of channeling. There's also, you can channel your higher self, for example, and you can channel a deceased loved one. You can channel other kinds of beings and even nature spirits. I'm sure many of you don't know about that. So there's different things that you can channel, but it should always be prefaced with a certain amount of respect and permission. That's my take on it. That's my take on it. So for anyone who is looking to hear from a specific person and you've got a good medium, give them that latitude, I guess is what I would say, because a good medium will have a certain ethical practice that they abide by, whether they make money or not. Like I said, a good one will. They don't usually do this just for the money. I know I don't. Yeah, I have bills to pay, but for me, I can do this. God has given me this, and I feel like I want to. I know there are a lot of people who want to hear from their deceased loved ones, or even here, there are a lot of people that you want to know how that person's doing, or you want to know how this relationship is feeling, or this or that. I mean, we do that, but the good ones of us, do it with certain ethical principles in place, and I think that's the higher road to take on all that. Again, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. You should always ask permission, or no, period. End of sentence. You should always ask permission. So I don't know, is there anything else I want to share about that? I can't think of anything right now, but I do these, just so if you don't know this, I do live readings on Wednesday nights here on my channel. And most of the time people just want love readings or whatever, but occasionally I do get people who ask about their deceased loved ones. Sometimes I can bring them through and sometimes I can't, but I don't always have the time to give a lengthy explanation about why that is. There are lots of reasons that a deceased loved one might not come through for you, even in a one-on-one personal reading. For example, if you have not been emotionally able to let go of them, they may feel you need more time. They may feel like you need to find your legs again, so to speak, emotionally. Sometimes they hold back because there is a transition period after they leave here that they need to go through, and if it's been too soon, they might not be ready to check back in. I'm not in charge of all that. I don't know a whole lot of specifics about how that works. Also, if there is sometimes an event, a date that's coming up, like an anniversary or a birthday, or a child's birthday or something, they will wait until they can get a message to you around that date. Like if they know, see that again, they can see on the other side. They can see the plans that you're making. They can see, oh look, she's planning to go see that psychic on such and such a date. Well, we'll wait till then. We won't come through this lady. We'll wait until she goes to see, I don't know, John Edward or Matt Fraser or Tyler Henry or one of those famous people. Maybe we'll just wait then, and because that'll be, she's making that appointment to honor me, to connect with me, and she's making that appointment on our anniversary. I mean, people do that all the time. And so they also might see that you're taking a trip. Maybe you're revisiting a place that you went on your honeymoon to or something with, and your partner's now gone. Or something that relates to an event that has a specific timing. They will wait. They will hold back and they will wait because it has more oomph, it has more impact, it has more meaning to you if they can associate with those dates. So that's another potential reason why they might hold back. just thinking that those are the big reasons. Sometimes they, and I'm speaking when I say they, meaning this a specific person you might want to hear from. You might come to me for a reading, and I bring through 3 other relatives or people that you know or friends, but the one you were hoping to hear from didn't come through. So that's really kind of what I'm referring to here. That might be a situation where sometimes these people want to connect with you about things that they need to clear, you need to clear with them. Whereas this other one, you just might have loved this other person more. It might be somebody closer to you, and that's why you want to connect with them, because you're really missing them. But there isn't so much a need in terms of our spiritual growth as maybe these other people. So again, this is all orchestrated by Spirit, and they can see what we need. And they, you know, just like life, we always get what we need. We don't always get what we want, right? So what else did I want to share with you today? I don't know. I think that's about it. I just, like I said, I wanted to share my thoughts on this subject and give you a little insight from somebody who does this. And if you have more questions or general things about how it works or whatever, make a comment on any of my videos. I answer all of my comments. I try my best to get to it as quickly as I can. Or send me an email. My email is in every video. And because there are probably other people out there wondering these things. Now, I'm not saying send me an email about, unless you want to book a session, but general topics, because these live readings that I've been doing on Wednesday nights, we've had some lively conversation about things on the other side. And, well, why does this happen? And why does that happen? And what about this? And different things about spirituality and even law of attraction. And we have fun there. So if you're interested, join us there. But if you have a specific topic that you might like me to talk on, please drop that in the comments, and I will certainly consider it. All right, well, thank you very much for, if you stayed to the end, I'm very, very grateful. Please hit that like button on the way out. And again, let me know what topics you want me to talk about. Thank you for being here, and I wish you many, many blessings. Bye.